Now at 6, 2 people died after an avalanche in Central Oregon earlier this week, and officials say the risk of another avalanche in the area is still high.
And Lori Chavez DeReamer's confirmation hearing for Labor Secretary begins in 1 hour. Our Thomas Schultz breaks down why she might not have the votes.
Dark dining is where you're dining without sight in order to be able to heighten your senses of taste and smell and touch.
I had never heard of dark dining until we ended up at this place. It's a local restaurant called Wild Pines. And when we announced that What to Do with China and Drew was heading to Camas, several viewers said we had to check this place out. Our dark dining experience and the rest of our visit showcasing Camas coming up here at 6:15.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Wednesday here. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. I went to the reservation page for Wild Pines. I entered China, Drew, Chris, and Rod for the next dark dining experience. They had a line there. It said, who's going to pay for this? Of course, I put
Rod.
Your name, Rod.
Here's the problem. I tend to be a bit of a mess when I dine. So if my eyes are covered, good grief.
Good point.
Child.
Here's a look at the rain on the radar. Our number one story this morning is steady rain from the coast and especially over the valley much of the morning before it breaks into showers this afternoon. We do have east winds coming out of the gorge. They've been gusting as high as 40. We have south winds racing up the valley 10 to 20. So wet and breezy. Here's the raindrops on the camera lens looking at our state capitol live in Salem. 51 degrees right now. The bricks are wet with the raindrops coming down in Portland. Cooler, we're at 42. Our day moving forward, by the noon hour, it looks like most of today's total rainfall will be over as the pattern goes scattered showers and the winds start to calm down. At least the easterlies out of the gorge will start to calm down. I have us 51 at 5 o'clock. Here's Chris.
Rod, we've got a pair of traffic alerts and a big delay right now on 205 out of Clark County. Check this out. This is live right now near or on the Glen Jackson Bridge. You can see the southbound right and right center lane is blocked. So 2 of the 4 lanes are now blocked on the bridge, and that is causing a big delay into Clark County. We'll take you back towards Mill Plain. Again, 205 southbound has been relegated to a parking lot here. This is your drive right now, up to almost 30 minutes to get you in from Main Street. So skip that, try I-5. That's in better shape. One other trouble spot now out in Wood Village. It looks like ODOT dealing with a crash on westbound I-84 between Wood Village and Fairview. And right now they've got the inbound left and center lanes blocked, so only the right lane getting by on that. Guys, we'll keep you posted. The roads are obviously really wet this morning.
Thank you, Chris. The Senate will hold a confirmation hearing today for Lori Chavez DeReamer as President Trump's pick for Labor Secretary.
Chavez DeReamer, of course, a former Oregon Congresswoman. She was also a former mayor in Happy Valley. So, Thomas Schultz, we decided not to fly you all the way to D.C. today. We have you there live in Happy Valley. But let's talk about that Senate hearing in D.C. What can we expect?
Yeah, Drew, a little bit easier commute here in Happy Valley. And guys, it's going to be actually a slog for Lori Chavez DeReamer today. And it might not be for the reason you expect for her to get those votes. She's going to have to win over some Republican senators. Now, Lori Chavez DeReamer was a moderate congressional Republican representing a purple district stretching from southeast Portland all the way down to Bend. She's also a lifelong Teamster and small business owner. In the House, she co-sponsored legislation supporting labor unions. Those traits led Trump to nominate her to his cabinet, though some Republicans, like Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, have been critical of Chavez DeReamer-backed bills protecting unions. Paul previously said he would not support her and predicted more than a dozen other Republicans would reject her nomination as well. And while Chavez DeReamer has the support of many large labor unions, Democrats so far have been mum on whether or not they'll support her at today's Senate hearing. We're going to learn more about exactly how they feel towards Chavez DeReamer, set for that Senate hearing today at 7 o'clock a.m. our time. We'll be streaming it as well live on our TV app, KGW+. Guys.
Thank you, Thomas. Some federal employees who recently lost their jobs at the Bonneville Power Administration are now getting them back. Since January, more than 400 positions have been cut at BPA, either through rescinded job offers, resignations, or layoffs. And now about 30 people have their jobs back. The reason? Those positions could impact reliability or other important functions of BPA. Experts have expressed concern over the cuts, saying jobs such as electricians, scientists, and cybersecurity experts cannot easily be replaced.
these are very specialized positions where we're seeing folks that are leaving, sometimes in an entire shift of folks. So that means that we'll need to have Bonneville cover those shifts with other personnel, and that's just stretching them even further.
In January, BPA said about 200 workers resigned after accepting a federal buyout. And earlier this month, 90 job offers were rescinded, all as part of the Trump administration's effort to shrink the size of the federal government. A federal judge declined in an attempt to block Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency from accessing data at 7 federal agencies and firing federal employees. 14 states, including Oregon and Washington, had requested a restraining order against Musk. They argued that he has been given unchecked authority and is violating the Constitution's appointment clause. But the judge said those 14 states failed to show that they would suffer imminent, irreparable harm.
Schools and universities across the country are responding after the Trump administration said they have 2 weeks to eliminate diversity initiatives or risk losing federal funding. Portland State was one of the universities mentioned specifically by President Trump a couple of weeks ago. He ordered schools to stop using racial preferences as a factor in admissions, financial aid, and hiring. But after reviewing the president's order, school leaders say PSU is in compliance and they don't expect to change any programs.
I think if we had any race restrictive programs, we do not restrict any of our programs. All of our programs are open. And so I think illegal discrimination would be restricting a program or initiative or anything to a particular racial group. And that is illegal.
Meanwhile, at the K through 12 level locally, both Portland Public Schools and the Beaverton School District say they're waiting for the state education department to give them more instruction on what to do next.
In Beaverton, middle school students are doing something unique to help out their neighbors. 8th graders at Holy Trinity School are growing hundreds of pounds of lettuce in their classrooms through hydroponics, meaning without soil, and then donate the produce to a food bank. Their goal here is to help low-income Oregon families at a time when food insecurity is on the rise statewide.
I feel like we're doing something that could eventually become even bigger and could reach more people.
Eventually, the school hopes to incorporate the lessons along with the spirit of giving into the curriculum for all grades.
Rod, have you ever heard of hydroponics before?
No, actually.
How about hydrophonics? Because I heard they're thinking about this too in classroom. This is where they would pour water over students' heads to teach them some of the rules of reading.
Okay.
Hydrophonics.
He's done.
Not the hydroponics.
Understood.
Got it.
We appreciate you watching our program, by the way. Here's a look at steady rain moving into the valley. And by the way, you see the darker greens? There's a wave of heavier rain that's right up and down I-5 right now. That's going to push off. So maybe in the coming hour, we'll see the rain rates start to back off a little bit. It is a snow level this morning of 5,000 feet. Government camp has been just clean pavement and 35 degrees. But as always, if you're going up to the high country, check conditions are expecting 48 inches of snow above 4,000 feet today. I think you can tell it's raining from the Wells Fargo camera view this morning. 42 is the temperature. We're watching winds. This is a sustained wind just under 30 at Troutdale, where the gusts have been as high as 40 this morning. And then we've got southeast winds sustained in Salem to 13, but gusting to 20. We've got south winds gusting to about 25 or even 30 up along the coast. So there are breezy to windy spots out there along with the rain. Temperature is really not an issue. It's low to mid 40s around Portland. Downtown's at 42. Salem's running warmer. It's 46 degrees down in Albany this morning. The steady morning rain, afternoon scattered showers, 50 or better coast and valley. We've got a mixed bag of snow showers out east this morning, warming into kind of a rain-snow mix. A lot of you will only see highs in the 30s. It'll be warmer in Central Oregon. Bend today back up to about 46. Here's our 7-day. 52 today, morning rain, afternoon showers, all dry tomorrow. There's a shower threat for light rain passing Friday afternoon, evening. Saturday rain develops, and some of the modeling is showing the rain develops earlier in the day now rather than later. This could be easily a couple of inches of rain Saturday PM, Saturday night, Sunday to Monday. Very wet weather, could be 3 inches or more fall at the coast. That's going to be our next story that we will be tracking. Here's Chris.
Yeah, soggy on the roads, and I'm not sure if that's what's to blame here, but Rod, we've got a couple of crashes out there. The biggest one right now is on the southbound Glen Jackson Bridge. The right lane is still blocked here, and our 205 south commute is really stacked up into Clark County now. Let's take it back to Mill Plain, and we're parked on I-205 South. So again, you need extra time to get around this. Traffic is getting by, but very slowly. We're up to 30 minutes now to get you in from Patton Parkway down to Interstate 84. I-84 westbound, we've got a crash just west of the Troutdale area, actually just west of Wood Village. It looks like the left lane is still blocked there, and that too is creating some backup. So wet roads and a couple of trouble spots already out there this morning on the freeways. China, Drew?